heroism of policemen who in 1952 gave the best examples of sacrifice for the nation, whatever hardships were. The head of state noted that for the past years, the spirit has inspired policemen who sacrificed their souls to rein in terrorism, confirming that policemen had shed their blood for the sake of development and realizing honorable life for the people as demanded by the January 25th revolution. First Lady Intisar al-Sisi congratulated Egyptians on Tuesday on the National Police Day and the January 25th revolution. The First Lady wrote on her social media account that as Egyptians celebrate this immortal day in the nation's memory, she salutes all mothers of heroic martyrs who willingly offered their heroic sons for the sake of Egypt and its people, stressing that without their sacrifices, we should not have reached safety and started the path of construction, development, and our new republic. President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi held summit talks with visiting Algerian President Abdelmajid Tebboune in Cairo on Tuesday that tackled bilateral ties in addition to a number of regional and international issues of mutual concern. The details.
President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi received his Algerian counterpart, Abdelmajid Tebboune, at Ittihadiyya Palace in Cairo on Tuesday. The two leaders discussed means of boosting bilateral relations in various domains, in addition to a number of regional and international issues of mutual concern. They probed the upheaval in neighboring Libya, which failed to hold its first presidential election last month, the latest developments in the Ethiopian dam dispute as well. At a joint press conference following their talks, President Sisi said Egypt and Algeria share historically brotherly ties and common destiny. The head of state described talks with President Tebboune as constructive and reflect a joint political will to expand ties. President Sisi said they both agreed on coordinating over fighting terrorism and facing all extremist organizations. According to President Sisi, the two sides also agreed on expanding cooperation in trade and economic fields, holding a joint committee and reviewing the political cooperation mechanism. President Sisi said the talks had touched on Ethiopian dam, with both sides stressing on the significance of preserving Egypt's water rights. The head of state noted that their talks had witnessed agreement on the necessity to also preserve Libya's stability. The president further expressed his wishes for a continued stability in Algeria under its wise leadership. On the Palestinian issue, President Sisi noted that they had a consensus point of view regarding the consolidation of the Palestinian right to an independent state. For his part, the Algerian president described the talks as fruitful and come within the framework of continued consultations between the two sides. Tebboune said they had agreed on continued cooperation with Arab and African leaders, adding that both sides share the vision and viewpoints over issues of mutual concern.
Prime Minister Mustafa Mabuli said on Tuesday Egypt is keen on reaching a legally binding deal over the filling and operation of the Grand Ethiopian Renaissance Dam, stressing that such a deal should achieve the common interests of all involved countries. The Prime Minister said the deal must guarantee Ethiopia receives best benefit from the electricity generation of the dam and achieves sustainable development, and at the same time guarantees no harm to downstream countries Egypt and Sudan, affirming that the deal should take into account Egypt's water scarcity dilemma and its dependence on Nile waters coming from the Blue Nile. Mabuli confirmed that Egypt is keen on restarting negotiations as soon as possible to speed up resolving contentious technical legal issues in order to agree a fair deal over the dam, asserting that achieving development in all Nile Basin states has been a priority for Egypt. The Prime Minister said Egypt has offered aid and expertise to assist brotherly countries within bilateral cooperation frameworks, aiming to provide stability for the people of those countries. Premier Mabuli expressed hope to reach a deal that paves the way for a new phase of cooperation for the sake of regional stability. Foreign Minister Sameh Shoukry and the U.S. Special Envoy to the Horn of Africa, David Satterfield, met in Cairo on Tuesday. Shoukry and Satterfield discussed the latest developments in the region, including the situation in Sudan and Ethiopia. The U.S. State Department of State said in a statement that Satterfield's visit to Egypt is part of a trip that includes Kenya, the United Arab Emirates, Turkey and Israel. The Health Ministry reported 1,651 new coronavirus cases and 28 fatalities. In its daily report, the ministry said the number of recoveries from the coronavirus has reached 346,000 out of 412,000 reported infections since the start of the pandemic. Yemeni forces backed the United Arab Emirates are continuing a push in Yemen's energy-producing Marib region against Houthis, despite warnings by the Iran-aligned movement of further attacks on the UAE. The Houthis launched a deadly strike on Abu Dhabi last week, a second-fold missile assault after Yemeni militias intervened along front lines where the Houthis had made inroads last year. The details.
Yemen's Houthi rebels were expelled from a key battleground district by UAE-trained Giants Brigade fighters a day after the insurgents' latest missile attack on Abu Dhabi. The Houthis lost Harib district south of Ma'rib, the government's last northern stronghold, which they have been fighting to seize for months. The Giants Brigade said hundreds were killed and wounded on both sides in battles that lasted for more than 2 weeks and also secured the neighboring governorate of Shabwa. The clashes are part of a major escalation in the 7-year war after Houthis, following a series of territorial defeats, launched a deadly drone and missile attack on the UAE last week. Last Monday, the rebels renewed their attack on Abu Dhabi when 2